Hello and welcome to another video. So today we're going to be looking at JCG Open's Volume 35 First Place Blood Deck. So this is basically a deck that was constructed in a tournament and taken through. It's, your pretty standard aggro blood for the most part in the beginning, and then it just kind of techs in, a Soul Dominator, a couple of Wind Gods, that sort of thing. I definitely wanted to give it a go, so I thought, why not? Definitely an interesting deck. So we'll get right into the games. Alrighty, so we've got game 1 here versus Dragon. This should be an okay and interesting match.
Time to get started.
This one's for my family.
So we start off with an okay draw. The Vampiric Fortress and Vania are really nice to combo together, especially since you can play Vampiric on 2 if you don't have any other decent 2-drop to play that turn, and that way your turn 3 is free as well. But we do get our 1-drop, which is good. Always having a good 1-drop. And we draw into the only Soul Dominator. Soul Dominator acts as a closer in a lot of cases, so it's not a bad card. It works pretty well for what it needs to do. So we do fortunately get double Vania, which is awesome for turn 4. Opens up a lot of different options for mass damage, which I really like. Unfortunately, they do play Rahab, which is a pain in the ass to deal with this early in the game, but we do get Killer Devil, which will basically just allow us to end the turn and proc Vampiric Fortress for 2. Not the best Vampiric Fortress, but better than 0, so it's not too bad. Now we do see War Cyclone, and then we see them pop into our 2-1, so now we just need a way around this. So the option I come up with was double dropping the Vanias, ramming all of the 1-1s into the Rahab, dealing with that pretty easily, and then evolving a Vania to clear the Cyclone. I thought that was probably the best option at the time to deal with this board, and we get a couple of procs from the Vanias, which is quite nice to put them down to 15. And honestly, I probably could have made a better play somewhere with maybe even a Nighthorde option, but this wasn't too bad. It did what I needed, as I needed it. And the Nighthorde being kept for the Sybil play works out pretty nice. Because Sybil is able to easily trade with the Vania, but then the Nighthorde trades with the Sybil, and I get a proc of 2 damage. Plus whatever's on board already. Well, 3 if I evolve the Vania, so gives us a... So we instantly negate Sybil's ability and clear it, and then get to ram an extra 5 damage. This is where the game gets a little tense, because from here on I'm going to be on the back burner trying to get as much damage as I can. Fortunately they do play Oro here, and due to my board and how these cards run, as long as I don't proc Oro, I have a good chance of winning. And since they're pretty much unable to proc it on their own, they basically are requiring me to kill it. So seeing that, I decide hit face for 3 with the bats, be able to hit them for a Razor Claw for another 3, and hopefully set up for a Soul Dominator finisher, because there's no way here that they can actually destroy their own Oro, which is good. And they do play Sybil, which is a little bit of a pain. I mean, it means I have to deal with that 3 heal, but they can't deal with this full board, opening up the finisher for the Soul Dominator. So, not really too bad, honestly. I was able to get the Soul Dominator to 7 pretty easily. Just go face. Plus, I obtained the Razor Claw Death Breath, which would have been 4 damage plus the evolve. Would have been lethal anyway, but Soul Dominator is just a nice way to finish things. So we'll go straight into the second game. Going into game 2 here versus Sword. Another alright and interesting match. Still got a little bit of a cold, still been a pain. So we've got Ambling Wraith, Vania, and Razor Claw, which are all pretty solid cards. We should be able to easily play the Ambling for 1. I think it's probably the best turn 1 card for Blood, honestly, Ambling Wraith. It sets up so nicely, getting that extra 1 damage. And the Vampiric Fortress again. See, that seems to be a good win con if you can manage to go one drop into Vampiric into either Killer Devil or Vania, you can usually easily proc the Vampiric Fortress pretty early on, which is what I do again here, similar to last match. Getting that early Vampiric Fortress, allowing for us just to ping that little bit of damage that we need super early on, and build on board, which is really nice. And with Sword, I wasn't expecting anything too big for turn 3, so it was actually really easy to deal with. Fortunately, we do have Razor Claw, so that dealt with the Grimnir, which was the only real threat. It was Ward, and they just happen to have it, but it's not too bad. And I decided just to fill the board before they can do too much. I mean, turn 4, we're normally expecting Floral, so worst case I'm going to lose one thing, but they do play Vagabond Frog instead and go for a similar option. They just don't get them board presence. The best part is I'm pretty easily able to just go straight for face with an Evolve, dealing shit tons of damage, and playing Vampiric Fortress here because I wasn't able to play anything else. So I felt if I just get Vampiric Fortress out, even if it's not going to proc because the board is full, because Vampiric Fortress requires at least one space to spawn a bat before it can proc and deal damage, then I knew I could set up a couple turn lethal, which isn't too bad. So here is where I had to make a decision, so I decided to go with the Blood and the Vampire Noble, knowing that the Vampiric will proc for 3, and then Vania will allow me to deal 1 damage, because Sword doesn't tend to run any healing, like at all, so I could easily anticipate that the 1 damage would be enough for lethal, even with a full board clear.
Me? Really?
Which made things pretty easy on me.
It's me, Vania.
And guaranteeing my lethal.
Hey, check this out. Now you made me angry. Go.
And there we go.
An exemplary battle.
Killing the little sword, no problem at all with Vania. So that was the JCG Volume 35 First Place Blood deck. It was definitely a good deck, it performed okay. I didn't do the best with it after those couple of games, I had a couple losses, but that's not too bad overall, so I was quite happy with this deck. So if you want to check out this deck, the deck list will be in the description below. I'll probably also link the Game Press link where this deck originally come from. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will catch you guys next time. See ya.